I would include, you have the right and you have the left, but you also have that middle ground where people have stayed out of it.
Well, I was just about to talk about that, because the right and the left, what you're talking about is the ability of master manipulators.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to ascribe bad motivation. These guys they have a job to do. They have a boss that they have to answer to, so they do the best they can at firing up the base. The unintended consequence of that is that these guys, when they fire up the base, they're the ones that contact their congressmen, that show up for rallies and protests, and then these guys show up against them, and they're against each other, and firing up the base is exactly what you're talking about, because they're the loudest, they're the squeakiest wheel, they're getting all the grease, but the majority of Americans, the majority of Americans want to go to work and come home and buy their kids shoes and watch TV, and they have kind of given up on being a part of that shouting match, because now everything's a shout. Once anything becomes a political issue, the idea of finding the best answer is out the window. Now we're just trying to win.
Right.
Whatever the issue is, we're just trying to win. We're just trying to win, and we got to win at the other's expense because they're doing this, and they do that, and both sides are shouting and shouting and shouting. And what's happening is, if we, and in terms of media, I feel like a hypocrite wearing headphones saying this, but in terms of media, if you think about the people that you listen to that get you the most angry about that issue, these guys, these talking heads on TV, we have to remember that they're entertainers. They're salesmen. I was talking to one guy on the radio, and I said, well, you're a radio professional. You need to understand that your words have impact. And he went off, I'm not a radio professional. I was a political analyst, and you're a moron. And I'm like, well, if you don't believe me, stop advertising, stop playing your advertisements, and see if they still pay you because you're such a genius.
Right.
That's the test. Where does the money come from? Okay. So what they're doing is they're selling the thing that gets you more engaged, emotionally engaged with their side of the story, and that's fear, and that's anger, and that's protect us against them. And there's a huge and heavy component of the us-them dichotomy that is healthy. Competition is healthy.
Sure.
Competition is something that we need. It drives us to be our best, but it can become unhealthy when it gets out of balance.
So